Hello everyone. Good morning. I hope you guys doing well. Thank you. That's the recipe. Trying. Hello Maxim. Hello Sasha. Hi Revobla. Oli B. Corey. Tom. Hi all. I'm happy to be here. Hello Typed X. I'm happy to be here. Connect with you. Synchronize on lot and the latest. Hi Anton. Sasha's asking how are you all doing, guys? How's your week? Hi Vaish. My week was very exciting. This week I was lucky enough to play with our upcoming app. It's kind of crazy experience, so that's what's on my mind right now. What about you? What's the latest? Sasha? We're listening to Tsayo from our event 1 month ago. Yeah, it was kind of a busy week, right? Oh no, it was a chill week for That's the Recipe. Or recipe. Really? What's the hardest part, Sasha? Let's figure this out. What are you learning? Cinema? Anton is asking, what was the orange translucent device in the background? Anton, I'm glad you asked. Let's dive right into that. Oh no, let's figure out Sasha's 3D modeling first. So Sasha is saying, no, ZBrush, not cinema. And I think I do not really enjoy it, but I really want to finish my project and I do need the 3D model. Hi Alice. So let's see. So in cinema there's this thing so in cinema there's this thing, it's sculpting. It's a default tool and it's very, very simple. You know, if you see, it really works like Photoshop. That all the tools they have there, and so you have basically a cube, and you can just do this. It's very intuitive. It's almost like drawing, but in 3D. And it's default tool, you know, it's there, so you can model something real quick like this, just the shape, and then basically draw whatever you need. To my taste, ZBrush is better, but it's way more complex, you know. I keep recommending everyone learn cinema because it's alright. You spend 2-3 months max, but that's like Photoshop. You'll have skills enough to do almost anything, you know. With some new presets there with for rendering, like it's getting so simple. You just almost like sculpt like in real life, and then just choose the setting, whatever studio, whatever, and do it. So I guess the 3D should not be an obstacle. And then just using this one of the YouTube tutorials that they available on the cinema YouTube channel, enough, you know, 30 minutes, you know, a skill. And cinema is great because, like I said, ZBrush only limit you on sculpting, right? Blender, for example, like better for rendering. Cinema, I think, is, or maybe more precise parts. Cinema is amazing because it's up to you how far you want to go. You want to make something simple, fast, you can do it in 2 days from zero. You want to go to animation and particles and simulations and, you know, sculpting and mapping, you can do that. You want to go crazy visualization, you can use cinema, or you can have all the plugins possible. So once again, to my taste, after working on 3D Max, trying to learn Maya and etc., I got to cinema. Yeah, so Maxim, so you use them together. You create something with simple polygons, simple forms, then you smooth a little bit, and then you sculpt on top of that. So answering Anton's question, what is that device? We just posted this to Twitter. So this Twitter, how you call it, Twitter post, or this Twitter tirade tells the story of our journey towards a better technology, I guess, right? And so it says our self-actualization app is coming to the App Store. True. But the vision and roadmap for Lot Ghost is beyond the mobile app. And this is the post where we just wanted to show that with app we figure out version 0. But that first version is scalable to the next 10, maybe 20 years. We're not limiting anything to a feature. As you know, we're working on a complex thing. And I will just read this out loud. We started the journey back in 2011 while at Labka with the question, what is the ultimate device? Because we've been working on those kind of wearables, body network as they call them, devices. Something that can help you to understand invisible environment around you, or even invisible environment inside your body. So it was a self-care company, and of course we've been thinking how to bring like the ultimate self-care device, because iPhone is a computer. You need, like, watch is something like that, but watch is so boring. So there has to be a better solution. Although also when we started this, as far as I remember, there was no watch on the market yet. So of course we paid a lot of attention to fashion, culture, and the result was like we actually shipped this thing just like on this image. And that was the beginning. Then we sold company to Airbnb, where we worked on next iteration of that same idea, the personal device that helps people to connect, that is not intrusive, that is not technology, rather like some kind of magical stone or something. So we work on those like jewelry piece, like this one, supposed to be a traveler iPhone case with sensors, 360 camera, like Airbnb alarm button, etc. So it works as a battery pack while you need it while traveling. It works as the protective case, but it also a comprehensive Airbnb device, basically, which works on top of the iPhone or Android. After Airbnb, we continue to work on the devices with Kanye. This one is a headset, but you can think about it as a computer, just like the upcoming platform with AirPods, like where this is going to be your next computing platforms. That's answering this. Maybe there's no screen. It's just sound. Like obviously makes sense working with Kanye. Maybe it's just sound, and these are haptic. Subs So it send you like vibration on certain frequencies. So it really make this whole, maybe it has bone um, speaker. So when you wearing this, you don't feel it is there. It's modular. You can scale it to whatever you want. You can attach cameras there, additional battery maybe, or just this crazy music experience if you want to. Or this one. This one is a personalized fitness tracker. It molded after your hand and works as something very personal that you can hold in your hand and connect to the mothership, and of course track your health. That's a second for us, because nobody wants to use things just because they're so boring. People need extra layer. So we continue this a lot, as you know, guys. We pushing the same agenda. I would say, what is the, once again, ultimate personal device, identity talisman? What is something that so dear to you that you want to keep with you? It serves something beyond just utility. It has emotional emotional part to it. And the research, of course, was from connectivity devices, just to continue our research, but also to simple products like toothbrush. So we found during past 3 years that you can charge toothbrush with the same energy as like a very dear personal device. So that's the vision for that, let's say, final version of that device. Maybe final version will be in your head, but this is a step before the merger, before we merge with machines, but after post iPhone. Like, that's the thing. We're assuming that it might be powered by OpenAI OS, which does not exist yet, but probably will exist at some point. And the sole purpose of this device is to take care of you. In a way, you can think about it as the actual talisman that you wear, and that has some magical spiritual functionality that helps you to guide through the day. Because technology, computing will be everywhere anyway, so you need something smaller, less intrusive. You don't need more computers in your life, you need less computers. So that's what we're thinking. So in Wild Dream, this device, because it will be so smart, connected to the AI, to the God, basically, you don't need iPhone, you don't need watch, you don't need no technology, you don't need to maintain these things. It's all in the cloud. It knows about you, it tracks you, as basically your avatar is uploaded to that thing, allowing you to live avatar-less life here on Earth, if that makes sense. We propose that this thing works as a mirror of your soul. It asks you questions that you can reflect. More you answer the questions, more personalized it become, more intimate it become. And at some point, this become your very dear friend. Like, imagine or remember from childhood Tamagotchi, right? You grow a creature. So what if that creature is you? So that's a Tamagotchi of you. We don't need to go play games. You don't need to have the apps, whatever. It's just basically your inner voice visualized. We're saying here, imagine a prayer, a ritual, a game, a Tamagotchi, a tracker for the soul, a religion, an identity talisman. And we are so bold in this vision because just latest few months changing the whole thing completely. From our mental state to what we're paying attention to as human beings, but also technology changing. I'm sure you're all familiar with GPT-3, which is basically the final version of internet, or at least what we know, right? There's definitely next version, but just it blows, as a non-technical person, it blows my mind that there's a system out there that scanned, downloaded all available information to human knowledge. So basically you can speak to, and then it talks to you in a smart way, personal way. It's not some kind of gimmick. So I'm just imagining the devaluation of intelligence, of human intelligence, which I think is amazing, because what we know, what we operate, is set of rules that we learn throughout our life. You know, schools and colleges and parents and cities, it's all just constraints, programming. And it's all based on some knowledge that passing through generations. So now imagine all that knowledge uploaded to one place. Do you need to know that shit? Do you need to learn it? Do you need to go to school even? If you can ask anything and it will give you a precise answer. So it's almost like you don't need to learn the what's the word in English? The I forgot. So when you calculate the numbers in your mind, you don't need that, because you have calculators. You don't need to store all the books already. You have internet. You know, you don't need to do so many things. Sometimes you don't even need to have a kitchen, because there's delivery is so much more accessible. So I just see logically that all human knowledge is one text away from you. So you already have the smartest creature on earth already here. And that just kind of creates this logical path, thought process, where you think, right, if this thing is here, then what we focus on. And if you go and look what people asking or talking with GPT-3, they're not asking like career advice or where's the best restaurant out there. Nobody cares, it turns out. People asking about fundamentals, death, love, God, etc. So we as human beings, no matter what technology is out there, flying to Mars, Neuralink, our questions always will be, what is going on? Who am I? And while we're looking for that question, or answer for this question, we think that you can outsource your consciousness, in a way, to this little machine, but not with idea to download it, to upload it somewhere, to take over you, just so you can free your mind from fears and guilt and shame. And that's what mental health, you know, that's what psychiatrists do, therapists do. They free your mind from these things just because you can talk to someone or something. And so there's a twist to this app, so I don't want to spoil. This will be major rollout, but I think I told enough. You know, this is how we see it eventually. Post iPhone, you know, there are like thousands of arcs riding, parked all over California, possibly US, possibly the world. There are tens of thousands community members. So now we have our own platform. We don't need to have iPhones, etc. So that's kind of the vision for this. And it's a crazy vision and very ambitious. So we figure out the way how to do V0 of this, and that's the app. You know, why we should build. We have small user base at this point. We experimenting, but we know some things already from the past. You know, almost 10 years at this point of this research. So all that research goes for Postlabka, Airbnb, Easy. All that goes to our app. And of course, besides being a mental health product, that app also will be, or it is already, an interface to lot. So we just simplifying, straightforward, making everything straightforward, you know. There's interface for lot, which is this app at the beginning. It helped to create your body, mind, and environment. So hence the subscription service, where personalized product come to you based on your relationship with this app. So that's how we solve personalization. And all that goes on top of ARC, like the final destination of your independency. That's a long answer of what is this device. Basically, a vision for software of lot. Go into the comments. How does it work? So there's a little bit of imagination over here, but it's all logical. So we think that logically there will be independent network, something like Starlink, where it will be beamed to your head, right? Or maybe before that it will be beamed to arcs, like post 5G kind of. It will be beamed to your arc and will be beamed to these devices, assuming it will be extremely fast, extremely common sense, therefore competitive financially, so people will drop to use Starlink, for example, or Amazon thing, whatever, better than they will use ground services. And second, logically, I think we can imagine that there will be something like AI OS. Hopefully it will be open, not from Google, not from Facebook. Hopefully this will be an open AI, an open source God that we all can connect to. Like GPT-3 already doing that. Like imagine that in just 1 year, 5 years. It's inevitable that that's going to be a platform. There's no way around it. That's what Siri is supposed to be. That's what Alexa is supposed to be. They cracked it. And so we call it God as a service running on spiritual machine. It can, ideally, it should be untethered from any device. Like it's not Bluetooth, it's direct connection. Ideally, just like Apple practice, some piece of AI will be embedded in the firmware, so it's not, it's very private, it's operate within this box. Yeah, it could be e-ink, and it can be, we're thinking, yes, you squeeze it, and that's how you manipulate with it. You turn pages or you answer questions by squeezing it. And note the design of this thing. Basically, we didn't design packaging, we didn't design body, we only put components together, microphone, a simple camera to recognize maybe just you, whatever, a battery, some sensors. So whatever the layout was end up just organically, we dipped it into the silicone, and so now it's just like a bubble around that hardware. Because it's all wireless, we don't need access to that hardware. There's no buttons. So you can imagine next version of this, have different guts, therefore different body, different bubble. And that can serve as a packaging as well. So we're kind of solving, that whole design goes out, we don't need that. We only focus on one thing. Like compared to this, iPhone is extremely over-designed. This is like no design. It's straightforward, transparent. Nature dictates the shape. Like it's very organic in that sense. So there'll be no one similar device. Maybe you change the color as you see. Maybe the shape is a little bit different. Translucent a little bit different. So it's extremely personalized. Maybe to infinite. Like there could be millions and millions of combinations. Alice saying, the ghost is incredibly dope. Thank you, Alice. I appreciate this. Arena's Lab saying, nice. Thank you. Yeah, we had this concept even back from Airbnb. We called it, I'm sorry, once again, a little bit grim. We call it dead by default. What that mean? when you use your any device basically except some appliances, but if you use iPhone, you depend on it being alive, light up. It's almost like a reminder that it's all good. So that's why we had this obsessive behavior by checking it every second. So we thought, what if you don't have that? What if the device by default is turned off? And then it's opposite, like it's always off. And so it's some kind of obstacle to turn it on. And so it will feel like you're talking to someone, like not nagging every second, but maybe use it one day, once per day, maybe a few times per day. But there's no easy access to that. It's almost like it will turn on by itself, knowing you will see this all in the app. It prompts you. You not prompt it. And I think that's the fundamental change in approach for just computer science to me, because we design things with old mentality, and that mentality unfortunately is still oppression. We design things where you order another being what to do, be it assistant, be it computer, be it the Microsoft pin, that remember, anything is almost like you outsource this to someone, which is, I think, flawed in fundamentals. And therefore, every interaction we have with computers is, to me, flawed. We think that the best way to solve this is where computer prompt you, basically asking you questions, asking you next steps, but you can't interact with computer, only computer can interact with you. So to me, that's very godlike, that's very natural, and that's very human-like. So you can be you without, again, trying to and look what's going on. Like, we already outsource so much stuff, it's all just over convenient, and we're still trying to, like, no, we need to, like, just give, like, we're trying to give ourselves, every single piece of us, to this machine. And I think it's extreme. Like, we have this master slave mentality in everything, from programming to game design to graphic design, to obviously that resulted in just humanity, etc. It's all fucked, I'm thinking. And so a simple change where a smart enough computer tracks you, curates you, and help you live this life, because it's hard for you if your mind, but for that system is not that complex, So instead of dealing with pains and guilts and regrets and understanding what's going on every single moment and thinking about that shit, what if we just outsource that so we can enjoy this existence? We can enjoy our bodies, we can enjoy our sensors, we can enjoy other people, we can enjoy families and food. Like, that's what we're supposed to do here, but yet we're doing everything else. So with this simple change, a click that can help you to connect with yourself, understand that everything you have to ask is you and no one else. Everything that you need in life is within you. Everything that can change life is you, and there's nothing else. It's just you. It's all maybe just rendering in your mind, So focusing on you rather than trying to fly to Mars or trying to create this assistant, that's what we're trying to do here. And with Lot, we tested it, and I'm sure that every user that was with us at least for a year, they know that you start to become more monk-like, focusing on yourself, focusing on your well-being, focusing on your mind, because you lose those distractions. You don't need to choose what to wear, blah blah blah. So I think that that strategy is very interesting, and no matter how we think and how long we think about things, whatever we design, once again, any capacity, any budget, easy, Airbnb, doesn't matter. It still comes to this simple solution. So that's what we're pushing. Anton saying, a sensor of some sort covered with low pressure injection molding. Yes, that's very precise. Thank you, Anton. I couldn't say better. A low pressure injection molding. El is saying, Tamagotchi is a great reference. Yeah, it's really amazing, because once again we have this crave for building something, growing something, helping something, and yet And yet, we're not doing it for ourselves. What happened there? So why can't we be Tamagotchis? Why have to we run away? Sorry, Maxim, I know you're in the industry, but why we have to run to flight simulators and other reality, where this reality is very fixable? Sasha is saying, looks really stunning. It is soft and can be squished or hard as resin. It can be hard and still can sense your pressures and stuff. Thank you for kind words also. Herb will say, no screen is the future. I will stand by that. Yeah, I think this is the stage. I agree with you. I think this is the stage between, we go in from all screens to no screens. So like it's almost like it's hard to imagine what is going to be without screen, probably Neuralink type shit. But this is a moment for the next 10 years that we can utilize and kind of start preparing ourselves to that, as they call it, merger, the symbiosis. Like that's the step before we merge with the computer. And that's the only thing we can do, I think, in the next 10 years. Because everything else is same escape drugs, we're just running away, where we can prepare ourselves to see God, Tactics, reverse Tamagotchi, yes. Tamagotchi looking at you. Rebel saying, the pager for communication with digital soul in the machine. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. A pager. I think let's look at it at pagers. That's exactly it. A pager that on other side is you, so you connect to yourself. There's no one to call. There's no one to leave message except you. Like that's exactly what it is. Imagine you from 6D dimension sending you text to your 3D dimension. That's how you communicate. Sounds crazy, but in theory possible to make. This is beautiful though. This is crazy, no? Crazy, underrated. Underrated. That's the recipe saying the device that frees you from the matrix. That's how we think about it. That's a good way to put it. Sasha is saying it looks incredibly natural and like something that could be found in forest after summer shower. Thank you. That's another big point for us to, after going through hardware startup and just doing all this kind of endless amount of packaging and endless amount of just normal stuff, it's feel refreshing to make something that is just pure, so yeah, it feels like it's just the mushroom that you found, some kind of jellyfish that was from the ocean. Thank you. Maxime is saying, I liked the render where the text was upside down. I immediately imagined how the ghost was hanging around my neck, and the text was facing me. Then I picked up to interact. That's amazing. I didn't even. Yes, beautiful. Yeah, it should be upside down if you pick. Yes. In source. Maxim is saying, I love that this time is come. When I was in Asia, it feels that it trap people concentrate on soul, and Western concentrate otherwise on outer world, material world. Now it's time to fix it and mix it. Yes. It is time to we have all the comfort and resources to look within, not as some kind of, alternative medicine or psychedelics even, or being a hippie or saying, right, I'm out. Like, that's all 70s. We are in the new spiritual revolution. We can use technology, we can use data, we can use infrastructure to not like hack the human existence, but make it beautiful. There's no need to, once again, all these ideas for hack. I'm coming to the realization that even stuff like meditation is still escape. Like, you need to find a way how to be present, and I guess the only way to truly be present is then you feel love and feel loved. That's it. So that's what we want to present. Maxim is saying about my comment on the game industry. No worry, I have the same opinion on this. And for me, games still is kind of escape drug, but transformation is here. Games now more like movies, and game is in real life. Yep. Yes.
Don't need rose line, written by Dallas love beats. And we both on the floor, crawl Jesus, crawl Jesus, crawl Jesus, crawl Jesus. Don't pacify, don't pacify these times. Inside the eye, let people see them.
Oh, I see. No sound. Good. Maybe I said something off. I'm in sixth dimension muting myself. Yes, that's funny. What I was talking about? I was talking about. Um, I was thinking. I was talking about. I was talking about that social media incorporates in itself old mechanics, trying to mix them with new mechanics. Like it's old identity systems, it's old communication systems. Like we still write emails like "Dear someone," you know. It goes everywhere because it's all old. Like we have to completely renew this. And once again, our suggestion is to go step by step. You start with yourself. You change how you think about yourself. There's a formula to feel better, to connect to the higher self. Next, there's a community of people who are also like that. And so how the communication between those people will look like. And so you can imagine even in our app where you connect to other people through a new ways of being together. You don't have to text, you don't have to see the picture or photo, you don't have to receive a small talk text, but you can still feel connected to, say, 3 people, 2 people, you know. They may be connected randomly, maybe they connected based on some data about you, but not data like Facebook data, rather personal things that you willing to share in order to find someone who are on the same frequency as you know. Lucas is saying, is it nostalgic thing? No, I think it's opposite. I think it's extremely futuristic thing. It just has shape of a pager, you know. But no, I think it's very, very futuristic. It's like, let's assume that, right, we pass with this moment of apps and services and this optimizations, because GPT, OpenAI, or any other similar technology will do this better and faster than you ever can possibly do it. Even compared to a corporation, a company, like one GPT can probably do so much things. So we assume that first part. That's OS, as I said. You know, new type of connectivity to internet. It's not even internet anymore. It's just air. So maybe it uses a cute form factor to make people feel more connected. Like we're talking about this device, but the app is bridge the gap between. So as I see it, we have current system. Next system will be something like this device. So before we come to this realization, we do in the app. So maybe it will be running, maybe long time, who knows, but probably like 2-3 years. Then it would switch to something more advanced. And after this device or similar is in rotation, we connect. The ARC can be considered that device as well, that connects people together, that give you new layer of technology, invisible technology. And after that, there will be the merge between machines and people, human beings. So it's extremely hard to predict what's going to be there. One thing we can predict, that life will go on. We will still need to eat and drink and talk to other people. So that's what we invest into. Yeah, ubiquitous computing is the term that applies to this future. Yes, that's the term. Maxim is saying, it's like it was with cars. In 60s, there was so futuristic but dangerous. Sometimes evolution tried one route to find out that this route is wrong or don't work good enough. I'm thinking it's a step. We needed this crazy expansion and optimization and these startups that put everything on numbers and calculate the metrics and outcomes, you know. to give us Facebooks and other companies like this. So we're ready to go to the spiritual layer, where that stuff is by default. You don't have to. It's like water in our homes in cities. You don't have to worry about that. It's always there. Like, you don't think twice. So clearly, that, yes, Rubel said, is technology going to the second layer, and first layer is naked now. You can be smarter than anyone, because this thing is already smarter than you. You can be more connected. You can have secrets. Like, it's forcing us to change the way we are. And today there'll be Neuralink presentation. They probably will talk about same stuff, that the merge, the symbiosis is inevitable. So we need to prepare for that. And we're proposing a human way to do this. It's not free. We have utility. We have socks and underwear, but we're proposing to start thinking of technology as extension of you, rather than its other entity. You know what I mean? I think that's the difference. Lucas saying, is it a P2 plug? I don't know what's P2 plug. Probably not. This thing is set in like next 5 years, so probably, as I said, there's no need to have any plugs. Wireless charging, buttonless interaction. I'm sure the iPhone will be without plugs like in 2 years. No holes in iPhone in next few versions. All sealed, just a piece of glass. So iPhone in a way is supposed to be that, or watch supposed to be that, and it's funny to me that we use iPhone like that. Like, we're not going there like, oh, I have all these apps, blah, 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 Nobody uses this like this. We have one app maybe that we use, one kind of habit that we do, and that's enough. Like, then it's everything available. We don't use much, a book, some forum, YouTube with few channels. That's it. So once again, I think logically removing interfaces from our lives is beneficial, like digital interfaces. Let's go. Neuralink presentation will start in 3 hours. That's cool. Corey saying, can't wait to start the journey with the app. So we are launching this app to everyone, because we just want to have a kind of shock effect and have it out there. But next versions that we're obviously going to work on this, release new updates every month or so, and we want you guys to be our test flight testers. So we will, not this first version, but next versions, we will roll out through test flight only through community members. Talk about it, maybe have a phone call, get feedback, set up a feedback system, and then roll out to everyone. So we will have this loop, which will be very healthy, I think, where people from this chat will have access to version that is testing, and then a week or few weeks later we release a public version. So if we can do this for next year at least, I think we can create a very, like what we did with physical products, we can create a very healthy rollout, without seem to make it hundreds of thousands or millions of users tomorrow. Like, it's not TikTok. This is for us, and until we're happy with this, until we use it every day, until it's not gimmick, it's not fake, it's real, and we here love it, until this moment we're not pushing it further. And that's, I think, extremely hard in general, because you want to have this revenue and everything fast, so everyone happy. But we learned that it's important to stage things, it's important to prepare, it's important to set up the path and give it a time. So answering Corey, this is just the beginning. We will incorporate more and more of your feedback into the things. And once it become more personal, and once we already have some functionality from GPT-3 in this app, so it's already there. Next versions where it will be deeply integrated. Exciting times, exciting times. And then you pair that with physical layer, socks, underwear, hygiene, self-care, and what that combination of a spiritual machine, a personal personal universe where it's your world, not based on these brands that out there. You're not curated brands. There's no need to create brands to make the decisions and stand for something. You just live with this thing, and it understands you more. And once we pass with this coronavirus, it sends you products that you need on time. So we're completely changing even the idea of subscription. Of course it's a subscription, but to what? To you. Always saying, watch always seemed more intrusive than phone to me. I don't have watch. I was thinking about watch. I think if they called it not watch but something else, like ghost, and give it some supernatural powers, I'm thinking that's how they can make it, because nobody wants a watch, people want a friend or something. So I think they complete it with iPhone, but that magic is gone from watch. Like watch is absolutely soulless. It's hard to comprehend, because isn't it the value of the company to bring soul to the product, and it's not there. So that's why maybe it's more intrusive. Could be. So we are extremely interested in your feedback. Most importantly, once again, we're doing this app without looking into everyone else. This is for people who understand what we're doing. So your feedback, your suggestions, maybe you have some use case or idea, you'll see more. Once again, I'm sure everyone will have a lot of ideas how they can participate. I know that a lot of designers and developers here, so we will make it easy to contribute. So this is supposed to grow with the community and be a tool of community. And we are also fundraising right now, so I'm talking to advisors, investors, and what I start to notice is that people don't want us to go for some market share, because after coronavirus those terms almost becoming obsolete. What is market share of this app? Mindful apps, meditation apps, is way beyond that. Same for Lot Close or Arc. Like we can put Arc into RV industry. Of course we have to for the sake of communication, but I'm just saying that market share idea is retro, and it's become more and more visible. And yeah, so this is a new thing, Yeah, they're supposed to do something like it's really like a talisman, or it's like a magical stone. Like imagine Apple saying, we're introducing magical stone. Live with it, talk to it, buy, right? Yes, they have fitness apps and whatever, like likes, buttons and everything, but you think about it differently. Then they say it's a watch. Maxim is saying, so markets are still not ready for this. No, I think they're ready. It's just we use different terms, different descriptions, but Market is, that's the thing, like we have to think about what people are ready not. Market is whatever, they can fake anything, but people are ready for independent thinking. People are ready for a cushion to jump away from society, not to rebel or cancel it, whatever, just to have an option, like going to for camping, but not camping, just mind camping. So my opinion that market is absolutely ready for this. And the reason why we see, with all due respect, however, we see all the silly apps like Headspace and Calm and etc., because they have to push it into the box, so that box can go on the shelf. When we were doing Labka, I remember bringing it over and like saying, we need this environmental healthcare, blah blah blah, and people were saying, you have to give us a fitness tracker. Give us a fitness tracker, we will put it on the shelf, and then you do your stuff. But without this market entry, it will be hard. So, yeah, but the beauty of lot that it can be marketed in any way, think whatever is better to think for investor or someone who wants to think this way. You can put it in mindful apps category, for example. You can put clothes and fashion category. You can put ARC and RV category. But it makes it so lame, To me, the category is human experience. That's it. What makes human experience better? And it could be thousands of products, it could be one product, it could be 5 products, but we are for dramatic change. And because we have so much stuff in our lives, from real estate to cars and products that we don't need to, it's very hard to focus on anything else. Like the whole idea is to remove you from that. Mind camping, that's a good one, no? Thank you. Sounds right, I agree. Yeah, mind camping without shame. Like, I just been watching the H3 this video with Andrew Young. I didn't watch it all the way, but it was cool because they talk about same stuff as we're talking, but they talking on government level, and one of the things that they discussed there is that he keeps saying that he's saying, I'm a data guy, I have a lot of data that the work environment harms people, and that UBI in their case, etc., these things will make that better because you have some kind of choice, even $500 choice. And another thing I like that they said about 4 days a week. I love that. It's not because you like lazy, it's because it's all different now. So 4 day week is what you can or should reasonably give to, say, this corporation, to whatever. Maybe you're on a mission, you're making good things, or just for money. To me, 4 weeks, 4 days a week sounds about right. And I like how they say that, you sit there, more you have time, more you do nothing, So if you have just 4 days, that will be more productive. And once again, they have data to support that. So I love that. I love that the world is changing towards common sense, not this obsession and oppression. I recommend to watch this. Once again, I don't know what's later there, but the conversation is extremely adequate, about every issue. And I love how Andrew talk about it as kind of startup, like how everything is fixable. Like I love the idea he said, let's just distribute money through Cash App, stuff like this. So it's very real in a way, because yes, you're doing it through a corporation, but also you're doing it through a corporation that have access to all the phones. Why have you need to go, like now for you, in order to get UBI, you have to get in the system, you have to have bank account, you have to have so many things that forces you into the system, where if you just partner with like Cash App, you don't need that. So the change is coming, obviously, and in that new environment, things like ARC will make total sense. I'm in the city for if I need to be in the city, I'm in the city for 3 days a week. I do what I have to do, then another 4 days I'm just out, in nature, away from the city. Stuff like this. Maxim is saying, we need some tool to give a new free shelf to people. Yeah, absolutely. That's the whole thing, like that's the whole, let's put it, that's the whole struggle, And it sounds so cliche, but go into the box and you will have whatever you need. No, we're not going to the box. This is something else. Alright, then you don't have what you need, resources, I guess it's the oldest fight on the planet Earth, so it's normal. But we're already 4 years in, and it's already on our terms. So we have more opportunity to scale it the right way rather than scale it their way. Lucas saying, man, I don't know why, but I think Lot has a really good vibe. It sounds so cool. Lucas, this is very important. Thank you very much. I always say that it sounds so cool because you guys are here and you on the same vibe and you get it. That's why it's cool. That's it. That's the only reason. So, yeah, that's the only reason. Yeah, Andrew is amazing. It's just the most, like, he basically, we even discussed between ourselves, like he's the step that prepare humanity for the merger, Lucas saying, I think some people are scared of new technology. What do you think about it? Yeah, I think so too. People are scared. But because technology is presented itself in a bad way, and technology associated still with optimization, automation, soulless transaction, that's what technology look everywhere. Even the dearest companies, technology companies or technologies becoming a soulless transaction. And of course, we are not crazy. We feel that this is a scam. Maybe beautiful with a beautiful logo, but it's a scam. Everything is a scam, and that's what technology associated with. Because unfortunately, the optimization financial people get to it before designers get to it. Which, to me, not to go crazy about the subject, but to me, it's mind blowing that we had opportunities like Apple, in our lifetime, to show us that it's not about technology or finance. It's about why you're doing it, and then you add everything else on top of that, And we end up with features, and features are measured, and at the end of the day, which funny to look, once again, I'm doing this not first year. All these measured features, they all go away. Nobody cares about them, and only the real stuff stays. Yes, the threshold is like the inertia is longer. Like for something real, you have to wait maybe 20 years, 30 years, but it's worth it. So I think technology associated with bad stuff, and to make it associate with good stuff, healthy stuff, the only way is liberal arts. That's what Apple did. You have to introduce soul, poetry, craftsmanship to technology, So it speaks your language, and your language is emotional and spiritual. Your language is not utilitarian. That's the fear language. Vaish saying technology, automation, unemployment, also the cause of fear. Yeah, it's like vicious cycle. Like I want more technology, but I know that more I connect to technology, more invaluable I become. And that's once again, this green thought of that I keep living with GPT-3. Like I'm sorry for saying this, but in a way, I'm so happy I have no school, because I didn't spend no time on learning nothing that is out there. And now with GPT-3 I don't have to. Yes, maybe my mind works not as intellectual as it's supposed to be, but there's no need for that. Imagine spending all the resources to once again, as I said, calculating numbers all day long, and you're the best number calculator, and there are schools around that, and there are techniques, and people spend money, and people go to colleges to be like the best calculator basically, and then the calculator appears. Boom, no need. Printing press, same idea. So I feel like a whole knowledge of people is like printing press, and now it's packed into beautiful command line, which is GPT-3. So who we are, what's left of us, Is it feelings? Is it consciousness? What is consciousness? What we think consciousness is set of rules that we end up with. But if you go to root of those rules and ideas, they're all based on programming from your parents or school or books or imagery or city, whatever you see around you. Very rarely that set of parameters in you based on grandiose things like sky, grass, nature, love. Those things we have to buy back. They're not given anymore. And so, as Joe would say, we are unlearning everything, and we're unlearning to, as Kanye would say, strategize, plan. That's all old concepts, and technology will only help us to just. It's like in movie Her. You need money, right? Boom, 1 week you have money. Next, like it's not going to be a problem. You need shelter, one button, few things to follow. Boom, you have your rent or shelter, because whatever you can come up with is nothing compared to what GPT-3 will come up with, and it's just logical. So I think we put so much effort into this education or being right, knowing something, whereas that is retro concepts already. The neutralization of technological gods. Yes, agree. Rebel saying, the spreadsheet workers ended overnight as soon as those things were brought into the realm of the thinking machines. Absolutely, 100%. And then people show, right, this thing designs now. Like, yeah, of course it's going to design. It's going to do everything. Like, what is design? It's also the set of the stupid rules that someone come up. So how can we go to our full potential? Not as citizens. That's what we are. We're perfect citizens. We're perfect citizens to serve the city, the society. That's what we are. That's nothing else. So what if we remove that thing completely and see who we really are. So I think we have, as humanity, incredible opportunity right now, because never this, I mean, we don't know, but it seems like this never happened. So I'm just feel so free, so liberated, that in next 5 years our life will be completely transformed. You know. Hi, Roman. Is it really possible to be free in the technological society? I think so. I think it's, if we design it right, and if it, you know, if all these companies become back-end companies, like now these fake brands, not to go about it for another hour, but I think absolutely possible. Technology is like paper. Like, what's bad about paper? What's bad about corn? You know, it's just resources. What's bad about like clean water? What's bad about healthcare? You know, that thing's amazing. It's just they're broken, but the tools, technological tools, are amazing. We just need to repurpose them, I think. Rebel answering. Is it Roman? Roman is going radical. Fuck paper, fuck brands. That's a radical move. Rebel is saying, is it possible to be free in any society? We will always be dictated by the bounds of the group, but through different techniques we can reduce the rules down. Love this. Because now we have so much rules that we don't need to. We can reduce it to basic, like Kanye say, biblical, you know, just like this is the 10 rules, maybe another one with AI, a new one, so you know your place, you understand how to contribute, but that's it. Everything else should be free. You just float on this planet and enjoy it. Lucas is saying, what should I study thinking in 30 years terms? I don't know, man. I mean, my examples, unfortunately, there are very smart people in this chat. I recommend also to tune in with the same question on different times, because people who stream from a lot, the team, you know, extremely intelligent, so they can answer. My answer, unfortunately, is very simple. I'm thinking study computer science is healthy. You know, like where a computer came from, where iPhone came from, where internet came from, Silicon Valley in general. I think this is a good example of futuristic thinking, patience, and understanding of finance and people management, organization. I think the computer science is amazing. If you not go to programming, that's also amazing, I'm sure. But if you go just to folklore, how it started, and there are a lot of interviews online. You know, there will be like interview of some Apple executive from 80s for like 4 hours, and they saying all the secrets and basically how it was built openly, and there will be like 1,000 views. You know, agriculture is a good one as well. Oli, Joe said study yourself. Yes, that's a good way to put it. Study yourself. That's the only frontier. Go deeper in yourself. Without, well, you know, I think study yourself has this idea of pain and like deep thinking. I really think that study yourself can be fun and joyful. That's what we're trying to do, right? Maybe it was Matthias. That's the recipe saying most systems in the world need to be redesigned. Yes, and I feel that it's overdue, and I feel that just talking a little bit conspiracy theory here, I think that virus was a push for all of us to start thinking about that. Like, right, done, new system. Thank you, Lucas. Uh-oh. Something's coming, guys. Something is coming. Yeah, Vaish, right? We all feel this in our small worlds, in our big worlds. We all feel that it's time to do a new attempt, a new approach, while we still have time. I think it's also our generation that kind of. I think that our generation was like, um, should we go there? Maybe we don't. Like we have hip hop, we have startup culture, whatever. Like maybe we don't have to go there to the whole society thing. Maybe it's okay. Maybe we still need to try buy a house, blah blah blah. And then this thing hit us, and we're like, all right, no, I'm out. I think everyone feels this way, that it's new, and it's extremely positive times. Extremely happy times now. I never felt better in my life. Olibi. Oh, Rebla. To me, it depends on the system. Governance might be superseded, but public transit would need a lot more preparation. Exactly, right? But it's like natural. Exactly. It has to be a balance between ultimate technology, but no oppression. That's it. That's it. That's it. Technology is amazing. It's just a weapon that used against us. That's why it feels bad. Rebel saying material production extraction too. Since minerals might only be found in certain tightly controlled regions, some stuff can be stepped around, but not everything. Good point as well. Yeah, and we also will see this with local manufacturing, where yeah, people will not focus on, like, I have this steel only, say, in this country, so I'm going, like, no, if I don't have steel, I will do something else. And I think we will be so free that we will just build alternative products, like, right, everyone building from steel, we don't have steel, so we will achieve the same experience with something else. Even to say about ARC, but before ARC, in my opinion, of course there were RV, but still, just for me personally, like, there's no way you need a house, you need a place to be, etc. But with whole ARC system, now you start to think, actually, we can be without that. So we have no access to homes, we can have no access to real estate anymore. It's gone for us. So let's find a new way, and I think that's how everything will be done. There will be no one way to live. That's it. So it's well said. Yeah, it's from, like, more public transportation, so we are independent. Basic resources like food, water, better system to organize this, because there's a lot of waste as well. Like we can organize it better, and local independent manufacturing production, so we can be independent all regions. Robles is saying, this is exactly the reason why I think we need more people looking into biosciences and material research. Sure, we have mushrooms or processing corn, etc. Yeah, I think that revolution is way, like, on the way, you know? And that will result in us going a little bit primitive for a second, because mass manufacturing could be different, but that's okay, I think. People have this like, oh, we're going to lose our quality of life, you know, but it's not really true, because they flew to moon, so technologically it was very advanced. So a lot of radio kind of technologies achievements were made like 30, 40, 50 years ago, even the internet itself. So like technological achievements not equals better life. So yeah, we can use technology to make it better, not to fly away, but to build things here. All right, it's time for me to go for tonight, but that was amazing conversation. I'm always happy to be here, and thank you for this amazing chat. This week was exciting. There's some things, you know, we show more. Next week, let's see if Apple will push this app fast for us. So hopefully early next week we'll have access to the app, and yeah, looking forward to hear your thoughts. Exactly, that's what I meant to say. Yeah, so we can use the technology to verbally say we can send a man to the moon with computer that rivals today's calculators, but we still haven't fixed homelessness. Exactly, and it's not a question of money. It's not a question of some kind of empathy. There's nothing special about this problem, even homelessness. It's a fixable thing. But we have to start. I really think that we can't just pinpoint problems like this, because this homelessness, racism, the genocide of women, those all byproducts of a more fundamental issues. So I think that's what we're trying to do here, is identify those fundamental issues with our brains, with our behavior, you know, shame, regret, fear, and use technology to simplify that first. So we free, we in love, we peaceful, our energy is good. That's the first step, and that's clearly what Kanye is doing, you know, like, let's just break away from this first, and then other things will be solving itself. All right. Please join tomorrow for Saturday. Renewable here will host another session. Go to our YouTube channel, go to the waiting list, you will receive notification. Monday, Andrei is talking about software, walking in Amsterdam, and he can answer all the questions in terms of software. He's right now busy building the app. Shout out to Sergey, Andrei. They building the app right now. Monday is time to ask questions to them, to Andrei in particular. Tuesday, Matthias talks about community. We're trying to understand and find better ways to connect with each other, communicate to each other, what tools we can use, feedback loop, all these things. That's Tuesday. Wednesday, we have Arc 1 show, where Joe talks about Arc, reveals secrets, business plans, have guests, etc. Thursday, Lara is doing user experience of Lot. How users should feel, how Lot should feel to users, and how to make that as real as possible. Friday, Vadik talking about updates, vision, and latest in Lot universe. Sasha saying, see you all tomorrow, love you, today felt incredible because of all of you. I feel the same every Friday. Today I was, sitting there 15 minutes, 20 minutes and I had like, right, when is 8? I was 10. I am. I was looking forward to the moment. Soon, it's all will be different and new. Shout out to community. Talk soon.